And I said, explain to me how this works. They did. And I said, what's the biggest units you've got? Because I got to charge this body up, right? Because they're talking about charges, the electrical charges in the cells, recharges the body. And so I said, well, I have this room, this salt room I built. And so we do our massages and meditations and so forth. And I said, what's the most you've ever done? And at that point, it was 16. And so they put these 16, they built it in, it looked beautiful. And people come in and go, what the hell is this? And after a little period of time, you feel it. And then I'm talking to my buddy Dan, who's obsessed like I am. He's always looking for breakthroughs. He's a bodybuilder and a race car driver, and he has the Beverly Hills, center, rejuvenation center that he brings and takes all these celebrity and turns them around. And we both use exosomes, and we're just like we pitch and catch with each other. Fantastic, brilliant guy. And so he calls up, and he's an enthusiastic guy anyway, but he is so passionate. He goes, Tony, I've had this experience. And he goes, mom. And he starts describing this. I said, I think I have that. I said, I have a room of that.
As I said, do you realize what you've got? I go, let me tell you what this technology just did for my life. And so I told Sage my story, and she said, that's amazing. She goes, I didn't know.
I said, tell me about your experience. They told me about a friend of his who had Parkinson's and how they went in for this session and felt better. And after 3 or 4 days, there was no tremor. Like, what? And he goes, and this other person, and he started telling stories. And some of it, but I know he's as skeptical as I am.
I was very skeptical. I'm sitting in this room with these computer screens, and I'm going, this just looks crazy. It really did not strike me as something that would really fix my problem. I can guarantee you that.
Because I know, Tony, it sounds absurd. He goes, but he's had this challenges, I'm sure he'll explain it to me, interview him, on his shoulders that are just brutal because he's just overlifted weights for years. And he's a race car driver. I mean, everything's pedal to the metal. It's a perfect metaphor for my friend.
About 13 years ago or so, I went into an orthopedic doc. I had such chronic shoulder pain, both shoulders just so bad that I couldn't sleep, and it got so bad. I thought I had severe tendonitis. So I go in, this guy takes an x-ray of my shoulders, and he said, sir, he goes, I've never even seen this level of damage. He goes, half your humerus bones are gone. He goes, I didn't even know you could damage shoulders this bad. And he goes, you're done. And I go, what do you mean I'm done? And he said, you're done with everything. Your racing is done. Your weight training is done. That's it. It's all got to stop.
And he goes, Tony, I went in there for 3 hours and I felt nothing. After all this buildup, he said, I felt nothing.
And I just didn't really feel a big difference the first time. I'd love to say it was just amazing right off the bat, but it wasn't.
So I thought, well, I've done too much damage, it's going to take something different than that. And he goes, then a few days later, I thought, what the hell? Some of the other people talked about going there and sleeping there.
I didn't have any solutions. I thought, well, I'm going to just try it again. What do I got to lose? I'm suffering so damn bad. So I came back the next day, 6 hours, and I walked out of that place pain-free. It was so amazing. I couldn't even believe it. I went home that night and slept through the night. I don't know what the hell's going on in that place, but I said, I haven't felt like this in 12, 13 years. My energy was phenomenal. And see, I had sleep deprivation too, so I felt so good. So I was going about once a week for 6 hours at a time, and it would knock me completely pain-free. And then eventually, after a few months, I got to the point where I was going 3 days without pain, and then eventually 4 days without pain. By month 8, I'm going a full week without pain now. Like, I'm going from 1 week to the next. I don't have shoulder pain anymore. It's knocked it completely out. I don't care what anyone says. All I can tell you is this: it's changed my life so much. It literally saved me. I don't know what else I would have ever done had I not found this, because I was essentially running into a position where I wasn't going to have much time left to do those kind of things. I was just going to become somebody that used to be. Well, I looked at Dr. Michaels and I said, do you understand what you've done for me? You literally gave me my life back. And I said, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to put so much energy into sharing this with others, people who are suffering, people who want their health back. Anybody that I talk to, if they're struggling with any kind of pain or suffering or just want to feel great again, and I just think this is the most amazing technology. I couldn't recommend it more to anyone.
So he goes, Tony, you don't understand. I've been having a hard time sleeping 1 or 2 hours in a row. And he goes, I can't believe you have this. You have this in your home. He said, I said, well, tell me about it. He goes, no, no, now they stack it. They do 24. They do this. I said, no, I think I have 16. He goes, no, but it's not. And then I talked to Dr. Michael, and she was saying, no, no, it's not arithmetic. It's geometric. And also the screens are bigger than the ones I have. And so I'm having 24 of them put in where I work. I, 12, 12, 12 in the corners, or 6, 6, 6 in the corners. And I'm going to do it also in our master suite. We've ordered them. They're going to be here because I went to Boca, and a lady in Boca, what's her name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful lady. You don't have these centers. She opened a center in Boca. It's near here, and she was really wonderful.
It's called the Energy Room. It's in Boca.
Yes.
She works with us on the network as well for Unified Healing. She's awesome.
She's a beautiful lady. She's only in it to win it for people. And she was a fan of my work and everything else. So she let me come when no one was there. So, I could just have privacy. And then I spent the night. I slept in this thing. And I had the same, not as bad as my buddy, but I've had some shoulder pieces, some smashing, some things I've been doing in my workouts and trainings. And it's like, I didn't feel any pain. So it's like, I called him and goes, okay, let's get 24 of these things, because I got everything else but this device. This really, really seems to have
So you're saying after one night when you slept in her 24-unit system, that pain went away?
Yes. And I went back a second time just to see what else I'd feel. I just felt so good. I was like, okay, what's the downside of this? There's only upside as far as I can see from this component. And then I called Dr. Michael, and I got her to describe more of it. But I'd like to ask you, will you explain the